list of the materials you're going to use for the lab. So the things we're going to need something to make a pendulum. So we're going to need string. We're going to need weight. We're going to need some sort of anchor to hold it up. And we're going to need stuff to measure. So in order to measure the mass, the weights are already going to be listed, so we don't need anything for mass. For length, we're going to need a meter stick. Amplitude, we can also measure with a meter stick. And period and time, we're going to need some sort of timer. So all I did is I thought about what materials do I need? How do I make a lab? How do I actually make it? How do I measure the dependent variable? And how do I measure the independent variables? So that's all I did. Okay, make a list of the 3 experiments you're going to perform. So I'm going to make a mass experiment, a length experiment, and an amplitude experiment. So mass, length, amplitude. So all I do for the experiment is I say I'm going to change this thing and measure its effect on the other thing. So I say I'm going to change mass and measure the period. Same thing here, change length. And change amplitude. All right. So we've got our materials listed. We've got our hypothesis done. We've got our purpose done. We've got the main part of the procedure done. So now we've just got a couple of things to finish up. We need to make our data tables, and we need to explain how we're going to measure each of these things. So how are we going to measure the independent and the dependent variables? So the way we're going to measure the independent variables is going to be with a meter stick. The way we're going to measure the dependent variable is going to be with a timer. And lastly, explain how many values of each independent variable there will be, how many trials you will perform on each value. Okay, so how many independent variables are there going to be? There's going to be 5 for each of these. And how many trials are we going to do? We're going to do 3. Almost done here. And then I'll let you finish up. And then next class we'll be able to jump right in and do the lab. So we need to make a data table. So each data table needs a title explaining which variable you're changing. Each data table needs a list which variables are holding constant and their values. Each table should have 5 different values for independent variables. That's rows. 3 different trials where you measure your dependent variable columns. You will need an additional column to find the average. Make sure to label each column and row, include units where possible. So first thing we're going to do is make a title. We're going to make this first table mass. Then we need to make a list of what we're going to keep constant. We're going to keep the length constant. I don't know what that value is yet. You'll measure it when you do the actual lab. And we're also going to keep the amplitude constant. Again, I don't know that value yet. You'll measure it when you do the lab. Okay, then I need to make the data table. I need 5 rows, 1 for each variable I'm changing, plus a title for them. And then I need 3 trials. I can count. And then an average. So, top column is going to be my title. So the first thing is going to be a list of the masses I'm going to use. Then I'm going to have trial 1. Trial 2. Trial 3. And an average. Then I need to list each of my masses, which you guys will decide. I'm going to use 5 different masses, so I need 5 different rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can decide how big you need your table to be. I made mine kind of small. Mine might be kind of tricky. If you need to make it bigger, you can make it bigger. And there you go. Here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to finish up making your other 2 data tables. Okay? Finish up making your other 2 data tables. And make sure you got the front page finished. So make sure you got the front page all done. Make the data tables. That's all you need to have done for next time. But you should have the front page done, or at least close to done. So I'm going to come around and check that real fast. Make sure that you have that part finished. So all you need to do is finish up and make sure you got the lab set up.